The NFL has rejected Brendan Sorsby and said no supplemental draft this year. What's that mean for the Arizona Cardinals as they've got, well, a less than ideal quarterback room, Johnny Venerable?
Hope you like your Jacoby Brissett slop. PHNX Cardinals starts now. Hey, welcome in. Live from Studio K, presented by our friends at Circle K. PHNX Cardinals is live here on a Football Tuesday. They get us again, your number one premier Arizona Cardinal podcast. Like and subscribe. Leave us a 5-star wherever you get your programming. I'm Johnny Venerable. He's Bo Brock. We've got a slew of help behind the scenes, including our girl Allie. Shane Diefenbach is here. You know who's not here? Brendan Sorsby, because the NFL told him to kick rocks, Bo Brock.
Yeah, same thing with Noah. If you're wondering why he's not here, we told him we denied him. We rejected our producer as well. And we've got an all-star group of producers behind the scenes helping us out. Absolutely. What's going on, Dave H., Darth Vader, Steven Jackson, Shaft, Sean, I see you, Jersey Cardinal, Rob, Nate is great, the Big Chino, Don, Jacob Tackett. He's probably celebrating in the streets. He's an anti-Sorsby. Also, we've got KR Connection. So many great people lined up and ready to talk about what went down today. Us just kind of going about our Tuesday, and then boom, it was Mike Garofolo, it was Ian Rappaport, it was Adam Schefter, Pelissaro. They were all dropping this news that some Cardinals fans did not like at all.
I like this right here, Mad Mike. The NFL canceled the supplemental draft just to spite the Cardinals, right? Yeah, it was finally our turn for a chance at the big dance, one day of relevancy, and the NFL's like, no, cut the cord here. How do you want to start this? We released a video on demand earlier today in a shocking state of affairs. And listen, spare me, like, if you knew that this was going to happen, pat yourself on the back. And I don't want to be like condescending to start the show. I want to have positive vibes. I want to have a way moving forward. Okay. But like we were going off of like Ian Rappaport was on Pat McAfee like 3 days ago. He's like, yeah, this will get done.
Right.
And then Tom Pelissaro is like, yeah, they don't. Albert Breer's like, this is the most shocking thing I've ever seen in terms of eligibility for the supplemental draft. That's why you have a supplemental draft. When you need it, it's like a parachute. They don't reject guys. So like, again, if you called it, congratulations. If you had an inside track on the Sorsby news in terms of his eligibility, I'm sure there are people in this market doing a victory lap. Like I'm going to try to side with the insiders that are paid a premium, that are connected to the league and to the ESPN, the NFL network. And when they say this is good to go, that's how I'm going to, opt to follow this, Bo.
Right. No, I mean, like some scuzzy prospects have made their way to the supplemental draft and heard their name or had their name selected. But look, I mean, this was about as unprecedented as it gets. And the NFL thought that they needed this maybe go about it a little bit differently this time and drop the hammer on Brendan Sorsby and just kind of calling off the supplemental draft and kind of drying up any further paths to the league in 2026 and said, hey, like we think you got a future in this league. It's just not starting in 2026. Probably 2027 is your best bet. But like we'll get into what his future is. And it's a lot bleaker today than it was yesterday when we were following the lead of a lot of insiders out there. But this was the decision as we were hanging out. It was Mike Garofolo. This was the first person I saw put this up. I believe we have it where Mike Garofolo tweeted it out that the NFL was going to make this decision. NFL has informed Texas Tech quarterback Brendan Sorsby there will be no supplemental draft this year, rendering him ineligible to play in the league this season. The league told Sorsby it's the NFL's, quote, sole discretion whether to hold the draft There will be none in 2026. So, look, was he going to be a second-round pick? Was somebody going to be foolish enough to use a first-round pick? It doesn't matter. It's all moot points. Mike Garofolo was one of the first with the news. And Johnny, we had our reaction, as you said, and our instant reaction is you've marinated on this a little bit. Your thoughts?
Listen, I was looking forward to the potential of a completely new quarterback room as opposed to last year. I wanted, say what you want about Minshew, brand new option, brand new, vibe. He would probably start had they taken Sorsby. You know how we feel about Beck. This is a very pro Beck podcast. Don't forget that. And then I wanted the ace in the hole, what I deemed a blue chipper, and a lot of people push back on that, especially on Twitter this morning. I was ready for a fresh coat of paint to what we witnessed last year. And now I feel like the biggest piece of disappointment right now for me is the leverage that potentially this gives Jacoby Brissett, or, the fact that maybe this season is going to go now a very specific way. I do believe that the Arizona Cardinals were in on Brendan Sorsby and had a really very real chance to take him, just like I believe that we had heard the same thing about Ty Simpson, right? So it changed the timeline. We're going to get into this, I'm sure, as the show progresses. Who's the biggest winner, loser of this whole thing? I mean, I'll just step in right now. Like, Monti Ossenfort is the loser of this circumstance, because, and I put this on Twitter this morning, it's like, here's what you do now. Like, Brendan Sorsby is not available for you. That was your get out of jail free card.
Yeah.
Now you either have to win games, or Carson Beck has to come in and play really well. And is that fair expectations? Like, at least had you gotten Sorsby, had Sorsby been approved, and you stash Sorsby, and he's suspended for, like, let's say he's suspended for 6 games, and he can be in the facility for half that time. It's like, okay, you go to Minshew, then you go to Beck, and then if the season's lost in November and December, you pivot to Sorsby, and then you make a conservative decision in January. We got Beck, we got Sorsby, we got 2 guys we really like. So-and-so's the starter, so-and-so's the backup. We're going to go into 2027 not in dire need of a quarterback. Why this upsets me the most is that Carson Beck now is the only thing standing between this franchise and quarterback hell, purgatory, desperation in 2027. And I wanted more of a buffer. It had nothing to do with Sorsby, the prospect, even though I liked him a lot, didn't have anything to do with him off the field. I wanted more tangible, realistic, promising options for this quarterback room. I get people are celebrating, and we are going to put all of our eggs in the Carson Beck basket.
Right.
But I just think it's just the rule of 2 here. I wanted 2. I wanted to increase the odds of hitting on a guy. That's it.
Hedge your bets, right? Hedge your bets, multiply your chances, all those things. And, like, I'll reiterate what you've already said. We're in Camp Beck. We like Carson Beck, but I'm not naive enough to say, hey, this is the second coming of Tom Brady. This is, as far as Carson Beck, I'm impressed by his college resume, but the skeptics exist for a reason. As far as, can his game translate from being a high-level college quarterback to the NFL? This league has chewed up and spit out guys who've had, just as impressive resumes as Beck, coming from the college level to the NFL level. I mean, looking from his great state of Florida, I mean, Tim Tebow, great college quarterback. And I think Beck, better traits to translate, but just couldn't play at this level. Beck has shown in 10 practices in 6 weeks. He's checked those boxes, but there's a lot more unknown than there is, proven from Carson Beck. So there are a couple things that can be true at the same time. Monti Ossenfort, if he had the opportunity to take Brendan Sorsby, I think absolutely should have taken Brendan Sorsby, and it created, out of nowhere opportunity to flush the room with youth, right? But then we have to revert back to the Arizona Cardinals. Monti Ossenfort has not done enough to prepare this room beyond Kyler Murray and unceremoniously jettisoning him from the organization as they did, even though they knew that was coming, November, late October, and they were still as ill prepared as you could possibly be. Like, this was, no doubt about it, the safety raft being thrown to Monti Ossenfort, and then it was popped right before his eyes. And now he's just left out there just with one life preserver in the form of Carson Beck.
And isn't that crazy that, like, I feel like a lot of people can't understand that. And it was like, whether it was Brendan Sorsby or if this had been Mensa or the kid out of USC or any of these quarterbacks, I can't pronounce their last name, Dante, if it didn't matter the prospect.
Right.
If a first round caliber quarterback had snuck through the cracks and became available for less than a first rounder, and you don't have to compete with other teams in terms of tanking a season, having to jump teams with draft capital, having to sink future draft classes, and you could have secured one with one pick,
right.
Second round pick, third round pick, whatever. That would have been in the Arizona Cardinals' best interest. And there are people in this market that I just have a fundamental disagreement with as it relates to, well, I don't want to touch that, or this was always going to be the decision. It's like, no, guys, there were going to be multiple, maybe double-digit franchises putting in a bid, certainly that have much better quarterback rooms than the Cardinals. We like Carson Beck, we like Gardner Minshew. We're indifferent about Jacoby Brissett. We know what he is. We know what he isn't. Having said that, the majority of the NFL and the media that covers it considers the Cardinals quarterback room to be the worst in the NFL. I don't even know if that's debatable. I think that's pretty emphatic. They don't have a young blue chipper in terms of a first rounder from the first, second, or third year. They don't have a proven veteran that's won a bunch of games that is coming in here. I mean, say what you want about like Atlanta and Tua. Tua's been to the playoffs. He's been a consistent starter, right? They don't have anything like that.
Right.
So people are going to look at this quarterback room and that's why they are projected by Vegas to have the number one pick. That's why Vegas thinks that they're going to be an underdog in every game. So, of course, when there's an opportunity to maybe roll the dice on a guy that's got plus traits, franchise quarterback traits, why? Of course they should have been in on this. I think the cynics out there, I mean, I'm just going to call it what it is, with all due respect. It's big time loser energy. It's big time. I'm content writing my article, doing my think piece, doing 20 minutes on Jacoby Brissett, 1-6. Cardinals are left for dead. I'm going to check out the Sun season in October, November. I'm tapping out of the Cardinals season. Those of us who live this effing franchise 12 months out of the year don't want to put up with that. So, you ought to be creative in trying to find an avenue to get better, and that's what this was.
Yeah. Let me answer this. We got Bo Peterson, and I don't know if he's talking directly to us or if just talking about the infatuation with Sorsby overall, but says Sorsby obsession looks desperate. We drafted Carson Beck. Let's just see what he has. Adding a second rookie with gambling issues ruins quarterback development. Well-run franchises don't panic like that. Well, I disagree. I mean, look, there's been plenty of times that you could look at the Washington scenario where they took RG3 second overall. They took Kirk Cousins in the third round. And you've had other instances where you've had multiple young arms in that room, and it's justified itself. In this league, you have no doubt about it, surefire quarterbacks entrenched as starters who are out of the league within a year and a half, and you're left with no contingency plan. If your only path forward at the position and the only quarterback under contract is the 65th overall pick in the past draft, I just don't think that that's a good enough plan. And I don't think that that takes away the ability to get reps. Look, Mike LaFluer told us after the 10 practices between rookie and OTAs and mandatory, between Gardner Minshew, Keaton Slovis, the forgotten man, who we don't really talk about on this show because we don't think he's got a future with this team, and then Carson Beck, they all had the same amount of reps. There's enough reps going around at NFL practices in order to get enough runway for these young players. It's not going to stunt a young player's development. Brendan Sorsby potentially being in that room wouldn't have done that. But look, you can be bullish and you can like Beck. I just don't think Brendan Sorsby, him being there, would have done anything to Beck. Beck has had a lot of talented players in his quarterback room with him, and he was able to persevere and find success even with that at big boy SEC in college football programs.
I mean, the 49ers have 2 quarterbacks in their quarterback room that would start for this team. Do they not? Mac Jones and Brock Purdy. Both those guys would start for the Cardinals right now.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's like, do they look at that as a weakness? Like this, I bring this up. Seahawks were like, we're going to give Sam Darnold $100+ million, and then we're going to use a top 100 pick on Jalen Milroe. It's like, okay, those are 2 of the best run franchises in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
You know, LA Rams, what'd they do? Hey, we're going to give Stafford a bunch of money, even though he's old in his 30s, because he can still play. And then we're going to use the 13th pick on Ty Simpson, a quarterback that the Cardinals liked. I mean, like, you can make an argument. Out of the 6 quarterbacks I just named, 5 of them would start or have a future with the Cardinals. The only one would not be Jalen Milroe. 5 of them would be atop their quarterback depth chart right now. Assuming Ty Simpson would eventually get his chance. Think about that for a second. Think about that, you Sorsby anti-truthers coming out here and saying, "Hey, we're above this, guys." They're not. I see it in the chat. Only desperate franchises do that. Hello, what? Wake up! This franchise is 31st, 32nd consistently in the NFLPA grades.
Right.
Do we need to break down point differential from last year? Do we need to break down who's been in the playoffs, who has not been in the playoffs? Can anybody list the last time this franchise beat the Seattle Seahawks? It's been years. They got 1 win in Seattle in the last 6 years. It's like, that's what you have to do. What you're doing isn't working. You have to get creative. This was a unique opportunity. That's why it stings. It's great to do it. Listen, the people who are all in on Carson Beck, which I am one of them, fair, we have to be now.
Right.
All in on Carson Beck. It's like, I hope it works out. We need it to work out. What if we're sitting there in like early November and it doesn't look good? And then it's just like, okay, now we have to wait until the offseason and we got to do this whole thing over again. And it's like free agent quarterbacks and recycled players and then the draft. But then they win a couple games in December because Jeremiyah Love's unbelievable and we're picking 8th overall. And it's just like, meh. When there are avenues to cheat the system, cut in line, give yourself, like the 49ers stole Mac Jones for like $3 million.
Right.
That's why they're not trading him. Like those are that's the same caliber of move here, guys. There are franchises who are forward thinking. And then there's Monti Ossenfort, who knowingly did not love Kyler Murray, took the job and then he traded for Desmond Ridder. He balked at signing Joshua Dobbs for an extra $200,000 in free agency and rolled with dead arm Colt McCoy. That's why they're in this position.
You got KOC in Minneapolis. He gets Daniel Jones. He's taking on Kyler Murray. You mentioned Mac Jones. He's damaged goods. He goes from New England to Jacksonville to San Francisco. You got Darnold taking a similar path. He's in San Francisco after bad stints in New York and Carolina. Yeah. And they're viewed as reclamation projects, but underneath the right tutelage, right? KOC, Shanahan, McVay, all these guys that are like, well, it makes perfect sense. That's such a home run move. But if it's the Cardinals, no, they have no business doing that, even though they hired a coach with that similar like skill set and background, and he should be an offensive guy and a quarterback guy. And if you believe in Mike LaFluer, that he should be able to get a guy with any type of talent, on the trajectory to be a starting NFL quarterback. But we want to ignore that when it gets it's a little bit off-putting as far as what happened and what transpired. Too much for the NFL apparently with Brendan Sorsby, but like for the fan base to kind of turn their nose up, where you can count on one hand like legitimate NFL franchise caliber quarterbacks that they've had in this organization. I don't get that at all. Like I think you need to be taking as many swings as possible. I mean, just look at how like most of these quarterbacks found their way here. Like they were viewed as done, can't play anymore, just damaged goods. I know Sorsby's completely different part of the spectrum, but the skill set and how he's viewed as far as the league it's nearly the same, but like you have to be able to tap into and harness all that potential, no doubt about it. But why wouldn't the Cardinals want to be the team that tries to do so?
Yeah, and again, like we're going to get to the winners and losers around the corner here, but like putting a bow on this Sorsby thing as a whole, like I think his NFL career is like, if If it's not done, it's on life support. He's
agree.
talking about like suing the league, and we talked about this earlier today. Like, and we kind of heard like his inner circle wasn't great. He's making a lot of poor choices. He got all that NIL money. Now he's going to spend it on like attorney fees. I mean, like this is a huge blow to his potential in the NFL. Like, I mean, what's he going to do? Go play arena football? He's going to play, spring football,
CFL, UFL.
He can't play in college and he can't play in the NFL. Both the leagues told him no thanks. So, right. I mean, like, I do think that is also unfortunate. We're glazing over that and we're kind of panning over that because it's not Cardinal specific, but like a quarterback, I almost wish rather now, like he had been allowed to play at Texas Tech this year, because then it's at least another intriguing prospect entering next spring. Like, even if he declares next spring, like who is touching him in the first round? No one's drafting him then. Like, how much time is he going to have off? I don't feel sorry is kind of the wrong term, but it's a really unfortunate situation. I'm shocked the NFL didn't give it the thumbs up.
Yeah, let's just get this before we get to break. This was the NFL and part of their statement, their letter to Brendan Sorsby. Your petition, filed 3 business days before the deadline without any supporting information or documentation, and only after abandoning your recent litigation efforts to avoid NCAA sanctions, does not provide a basis for the league to alter those plans. That was the NFL in their letter to Brendan Sorsby. So they didn't find like that Brendan Sorsby, it was like basically a last ditch effort on his behalf. He didn't give any kind of, he didn't make his case to them. He just did what is, the bare minimum, I guess. But like, according to his representation, like there wasn't any more expectation for more. He checked all the boxes, and the NFL said, yeah, but upon further review, we're not going to deal with this. We're not going to hold a draft. And I think that's going to be really where he's not going to have much of a case. Like the fact that they didn't hold the draft didn't put them in a position to not allow him to be drafted in that. So it really just kind of finds a loophole that I think has hit the end of the road as Sorsby sought out being a part of some team in 2026.
It's a really good point. Then we'll get to break. And I agree with you. The loophole's gone.
Yeah.
He thought he would be able to jump through. And like here, this is a good point by JV in the chat. Dude is literally showing you why they shouldn't draft him even if he was available. I was willing to say second chance, stupid kid decisions if he was clean leading up to, I say clean, like making good choices, respectful, going through the due process, checking those boxes leading into the supplemental draft. If you have not read the letter that the NFL sent to him, it is about as damning. I mean, they completely undress him and his character. They question, like, basically they insinuated that maybe he hadn't taken accountability. And like, I know Sorsby camp just thought we're checking a box here. The NFL really wanted to see real remorse, and whether they would have approved it or not, who knows, given the time frame. But like, you are correct. Like they thought this would be a slam dunk for them, so they half-assed it. It sounds like didn't give any kind of.
I mean, his representation said like the league didn't say, hey, you needed additional documents. None were required. The league expected information beyond the application.
It is unprecedented, for
right?
Sure.
In filing near the deadline, they didn't feel like it could be negatively affecting the league's decision. They were like, he filed 3 days before, and then they're saying, well, yeah, they're just assuming, and you would get, they're right that after he called off his litigation at the collegiate level, he pivoted there,
and that's fair. He thought he was going to play college football.
Right.
And then for the last 10 days, it was like, it's a disaster. We're back around the corner. How does this impact the Cardinals? The biggest winners and losers of the Sorsby denial that's coming up. Fired up to talk about our partners at 1AZ Credit Union, a company, a brand that's invested in you and in Arizona. Their mission is to help Arizonians live their best financial lives, whether that means buying a new car, starting a business, or planning for what's next. The best part about 1AZ is they're a part of the community and they're proud to be celebrating not 25, not 50. How about 75 years of dedicated service in Arizona? You talk about a blueprint of success that has spanned almost a century with 25 branches here in Arizona and an online banking app that cannot be beat. You can access your money so much easier. That's why I have it. That's why Bo has it. 1AZ branches are your one-stop shop for all your financial needs. It's not just a transaction. It's not just a bank withdrawal. You can get documents notarized. Friendly associates are there to help you across the state. So for a limited time only, they're also going to help by hooking you up. Open up a free checking account and complete a qualifying activities to earn $350 new member bonus. Again, new checking account could get you $350 in new member bonus. You got to use the code CHK-358. Terms and conditions apply. Visit 1azcu.com for all the details, Bo.
World Cup has become a staple on our television here at the Brock household. It's just on all the time. We're checking out all the matches, and it's buzz. It's only getting louder, of course, with the U.S. punching their ticket to the knockout round. And with every game, I've got myself a nice glass of Don Julio 1942 because there's always something to celebrate while taking in the World Cup matches. Of course, Don Julio 1942. They've got so many ways to celebrate, including how they represent in their bottle. They've got the trophy edition inspired by the FIFA World Cup, and even they've got those minis too. Those smaller moments, they're also iconic. You got to check it out. Keep your eye out for Don Julio watch parties all summer long during the 2026 World Cup. Got the U.S. men's national team and Mexico matches here for PHNX. Join us if you will. If not, just make it a Don Julio 1942. Kick it on back and enjoy the soccer. Don Julio 1942. Always celebrate responsibly.
Hit that like button, subscribe to PHNX Sports here on YouTube, continuing to break down the fallout of Brendan Sorsby's denial by the NFL to participate in a supplemental draft. Jalen Thompson will hold the crown. This is the last supplemental draft pick, of course, by Steve Keim, 2019. So again, for another year, it would seem. I mean, you saw this news today. Obviously, we had to absorb it. Who do you believe is the biggest winner for the Cardinals? Is it Beck? Is it Jacoby? Who do you think?
No, I think it clearly is Carson Beck. There's no doubt about it. I mean, it just it gives him a clear runway to take kind of stranglehold on the Arizona Cardinals starting quarterback position in 2026 and potentially beyond. Like he's not gonna have to look over his shoulder. I think once the Arizona Cardinals feel comfortable enough to deploy him, and we'll see when that is, if it, is in the beginning of the season or if it's middle or towards the end, he's not going to say, oh, well, if as soon as I mess up, I'm going to be Dylan Gabriel and relegated to the bench for the remainder of my Browns career. And it's going to be Shador's job to lose in front of me, outside of, the veterans in the room. I think that Carson Beck is the, no doubt about it, direct beneficiary of Brendan Sorsby staying out of the NFL. And I don't know if he was going to be that big a threat to him in 2026, but the beyond part is for sure where Sorsby would have played in. Now, can Beck put himself in a position to kind of have some semblance of the job going into next offseason?
Yeah, and there's a good point here in the chat. I want to highlight it from Dustin. Is Jacoby and Minshew won't be here next year. Well, they're not under contract.
Right.
Carson Beck's the only one. And I'll say this, like the NFL and the people who run the individual teams, the executives, the coaches, they're all very much creatures of habit. And, I use the example of the spring of 2023, Monti had gotten hired. He got to know Colt McCoy that offseason. Hadn't coached or hadn't been a part of Colt McCoy's journey in the NFL. They hadn't been tied together. But just really talked himself into with Jonathan Gannon and Drew Petzing, like, hey, Colt McCoy can get us to Kyler Murray. Like, he started enough games in the NFL. We'll just roll with Colt. They had tried to get other quarterbacks. It didn't work out. And then they pivoted, right? I had to get Josh Dobbs because he physically didn't do it. But Colt McCoy had fooled the Cardinals. That's probably not the right. Had convinced the Cardinals from March until August that he could do it.
Right.
And it's like, if you're Carson Beck and Brendan Sorsby is here, even if he didn't play this year, just his presence of being there January, February of next year, and He's more athletic, has a bigger arm, more enticing. Like, that's going to be a threat to Carson Beck. But if Carson Beck makes any kind of impression and Mike LaFluer is still the coach of this team and they're interlocked and we get to next January, guess who's leading all the off the field programs? Carson Beck. Guess who's running OTAs and everything else? Guess who's lifting with the guys?
Yeah.
And it's Trey McBride. It's Carson Beck and Carson Beck alone. And who knows? I'm not going to say it would sway a draft day decision depending on where they're picking, but it could sway this team's willingness to go. Like, if Carson Beck shows enough, can't you say, like, why do we need Mac Jones now? If Carson Beck's good, well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because that's who's going to be available in free agency. So I think he buys himself a lot of time, not only this year, but beyond this year into next year's draft. I think when he gets the starting job, whenever that is this year, October, whenever, he's going to be the starter for the next 6 months and then kind of wait and see. I don't think that would have been the case with Sorsby. I think if Sorsby would have been here, we all would have been, unless Beck really took off, everybody would be counting their days until it was Sorsby's job.
Yeah, but more too, as far as the opportunity that this creates for Beck, where, you know, he is going to be kind of the lone man in the room. Like, once the final whistle blows on the Cardinals 2026 season and you get into the 2027 offseason, like, as long as he doesn't completely fall on his face and he shows, you know, something similar to what he proved at the college level, which was impressive. He played in the college football championship game this previous season with Miami, just the squad that he joined while he was rehabbing an injury. Like, Carson Beck is going to be the guy. He's liked by his teammates. He's already viewed as a leader of, I think, his rookie class. And you're only going to see that grow and grow and grow the more comfortable he gets. Like, the biggest thing for him is going to be, like, physically, can he hold up at this level? Can he do enough? Can his college processing translate to the NFL processing? Can he keep up with the speed of the game? Can his, you know, lack of arm strength, can he circumvent that enough to become this game manager that everybody believes he can be? Like, I saw somebody in the chat mention it, like the 2016 Cowboys with Dak Prescott. There's more talent on this offense than arguably that, probably outside the offensive line.
Right. They had Tyrone Smith and some other people. Yeah.
Spring Zeke for, you know, unbelievable season that helped everybody. But, like, as far as playmakers in the passing game, no doubt about it. Like, you're going to have Beck and he's just going to have to play, you know, Chris Paul, Steve Nash. He's just going to have to be that point guard and pass the ball to Trey McBride, Mike Wilson, Marvin Harrison Jr. Like, but can he do that? Can he at least play that role? And I think that's where, you know, the biggest Beck detractors and haters out there, they're skeptical of it, while people are all guzzling the glass half full with Beck, to where they think he absolutely can do that. If he can, like, it's going to be his team until the kiss of death, when the team site tweets out the graphic that says Carson's our guy, like Josh Rosen back in the day.
I would say he's the biggest winner. 1B to that is Jacoby Brissett, because I think if there was any doubt he was going to be on the team, he'll be on the team now.
Sure.
Because, like, you and I both thought, had they drafted Sorsby, could you ship Jacoby out to the Jets for like a 6 or 7? Now, I would still do that. Minshew's the same guy. He's newer, right? He's got a relationship with LaFluer. I would still do the Minshew Beck Slovis quarterback room, or hell, you can get another quarterback. Dana said it in the chat, cuts in April or August, whatever. But I think there's a greater chance now that Jacoby Brissett's on the team. And whether or not he's making more money, that remains to be seen. We got to cover the fresh hell that is that day when it happens. But had they drafted Sorsby, I think there would have been a real chance Jacoby Brissett would have just been released or traded. And so congratulations to Jacoby. He's out of Pebble Beach or wherever he's choosing to golf right now. He's a winner temporarily. And I think, like, listen, I'm not naive to this. Like, we were pro Sorsby. We had our argument. And this is what we'll never do. Like, we're never going to do the show to appease everybody, right? Because that's impossible. but we're going to give you our honest opinion on this. And Bo and I disagreed for 3 months over Ty Simpson. Like Bo and I were on the same page with this Sorsby thing. There was a lot of people in this fan base that do not want Sorsby. They don't want it. They don't want to interfere with Beck's development. They don't want to interfere with, their excitement for the season. A lot of people thought he was a fraud after watching ASU in the Big 12 last year. So I would say a segment of the fan base are winners today. So those are my winners. Who's the biggest?
If Beck does this, they won't be in the 2027 draft. If Beck does,
they'll be in the playoffs if he does.
If he does 27 points per game, as Daddy Rabbits is pointing out, because you got LaFluer calling the offensive plays in place of Petzing, and you've got Jeremiyah Love, Trey McBride, Michael Wilson, MHJ. If they're scoring 27 points per game, like that, then I'm not going to go to my 2027 quarterback class anonymous meeting tomorrow and reintroduce myself, because
every time I thought
a couple month hiatus
that your ticket to that class, to that meeting, every time I thought that was lit on fire. Remember we did the memoriam for the class right before the draft, and then now like this was another outside chance. Bo's dream of getting one of those sweet 2027 quarterback prospects is alive. We'll get to the losers here in a second. We got to get to this. Dropping a bomb, Ranger style, $100 super chat. Okay, with the news today, I'm out on this team this season. I cannot stand to watch. Well, Ranger, I hope you're going to be hanging out with us during our watch parties. You don't have to watch the team. Just hang out with us. Jacoby, QB, this team. I tell Monty he's gone. He's not done anything in free agency, and his draft picks have not had a Pro Bowler at all. I mean, it's nothing you say there is incorrect. And that was the biggest kind of concern we had when this team was like, Jacoby Brissett's going to be our guy, and you're going to turn people off way in advance. So with that being said, Bo, I think I know, who's the biggest loser of the Sorsby sweepstakes?
Yeah, it remains general manager Monti Ossenfort. I mean, it created an opportunity that slipped right through his fingertips. Fair or not, it wasn't his decision to not allow Sorsby or not to hold the supplemental draft, but he's back in the bed that he made. Yeah. And he's got to see this thing through with just 15 wins on his resume after 3 seasons. Can he get to whatever number exists to punch his ticket to the next offseason with the quarterbacks he has in place? And he's going to have a lot of these, 30-plus players that he drafted in this organization. They're going to have to take a big step forward, and they're going to have to create an infrastructure to elevate the position, the most important position in sports that isn't up to snuff.
I'm going to tell you why he's also a big loser is that there would have been a large segment of the fan base that wanted to see Beck from the jump, but the presence of Sorsby, I think, would have not tempered it, but the pressure wouldn't have been as significant. Now with the removal of the temptation of Sorsby, and it's just Beck, now it becomes the fan base unifies to one guy, fair or not, one guy, because nobody's clamoring for no one's going to clamor for Gardner Minshew. I would assume so. Jacoby struggles. He's 0-4. He looks bad again. Nobody's saying Minshew's the guy to come in. Okay. The fan base is going to be all in on Carson Beck. And I just think that's a tough place for Monty to be, because it's already, you're setting up that the season is lost with a slow start. You don't have an ace in the hole. And then it becomes like, as much as I think Beck is a winner from this, it does put a lot of added pressure on him to perform. The season can get lost really quick. There are going to be, friends, levels to this season. The first level is, can Jacoby, if he's the starter, do anything? Can they basically avoid disaster? Can they hover around 500? Let's assume no. So then you go to the next level. Who's coming in? Is it Carson Beck? Can he be good? And you go through phases with that where maybe it's not necessarily about winning as much, but can he put together, quality outings? And then there's the next level. Hey, it's November 15th and we have 2 wins. We need to lose out to get Dante Moore, Arch Manning, whomever. And then it's like, well, Monty, get out. Then it's like, Monty, you're fired. Those are the levels that are going to be for this season, fair or not. And Sorsby would have represented a buffer to that to some extent, in my opinion.
Yeah, he creates a break glass in case of emergency to present if things go south again. For the fourth time, the third time in 4 seasons for Monti Ossenfort, like that. That's like, hey, look at this. At least we have this. The Joe Shane, break glass in case of emergency. Yeah, I mean, Shane was able to show, hey, at least I've got, Jackson Dart here for you. And Shane not only punched his ticket to another offseason, he got to hire another coach, and then he also inexplicably got extended, which is insane, with just 22 wins in 4 seasons as the architect of that Giants team. Let's continue to examine the fallout. We'll get to your super chats as well. Thank you, Ranger. You're the GOAT. We continue on next, PHNX Cardinals.
Do you need representation, but you don't know where to start? Well, let me give you my personal recommendation. The husband and wife law team, Mark and Alexis Breyer, they are phenomenal. Phoenix is their home. They've raised their 8 kids here, and they're always focused on giving back to their customers and to their community because, let's face it, after a serious injury, you want to hire an attorney that's focused on your best outcome, not how much the firm makes. That's the husband and wife law team. Again, why are they different? Well, they're built different. They're the certified specialists by the State Bar of Arizona, which certifies less than 1%, but they've got you covered. They'll actually go to trial. They're not trying to do some under-the-table deal that only benefits them, right? They're going to have as much money in your pocket as theirs, even if they have to waive their attorney fees to do so. And here's the best part. If you're not vibing with them for whatever reason, you cancel their fee agreement at any time. You're not locked in to anything. You have the lawyers you trust right in front of you. It's the husband and wife law team. Again, if you had a serious injury, give them a call. The husband and wife law team first at 602-783-8841 or visit their website in the link in the show notes. Tell them Johnny and Bo and PHNX Cardinals sent you, Bo.
Mark and Alexis Breyer would have had Brendan Sorsby in the supplemental
draft. True.
Yeah,
true.
Probably a first rounder at that point. But instead, Brendan Sorsby is probably going to have to find a fit that's not an NFL uniform or college uniform for that matter. And why not check out our friends over at Quince? Even though the heat's on Sorsby, he can cool off by wearing something nice, comfortable, and not sacrifice the style. We love Quince. Johnny's got some Quince. I've got some Quince. It's now entered our wardrobe permanently. And I just love it. 100% European linen shirts. The pants, they're incredibly breathable. Perfect for summer if you have to, ditch the shorts and then maybe class it up with some pants. Price is starting at just $34. Their tees are so soft enough to wear all day. Lightweight cotton sweaters, exactly what you want. Once that sun goes down, maybe you're on a trip to the coast like San Diego, you need a couple extra layers. Quince going to get it done for you. Go to quince.com/PHNX for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. Check it out. QUINCE.com/PHNX for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/PHNX.
Hit that like button.
Got to continue to give the flowers to all those who just speculated despite respectable NFL insiders thinking he was going to make it to at least the supplemental draft, saying he wasn't going to play it down in 2026. Congratulations. It's a good day to be the Sorsby haters out there. We have to give credit where it's due.
Can I just we're not going to bat 1,000 here on this show, but what we're not going to do is feed you the same old slop that's been tolerated in this market for far too long, where it's like, just trust the team's direction, guys. Trust that they know what they're... No, sometimes, listen, we put our foot down in January. You can't hire Vance Joseph. And there was a little bit of a movement that happened. Vance Joseph's not the coach of this team. Okay? Yeah. Put our foot down to some degree. It's like Jeremiyah, this fan base mostly, Jeremiyah Love. They drafted Jeremiyah Love. Now, you don't want to be influenced by everybody constantly, but when you're the Cardinals and you historically make these decisions that just backfire year after year, time after time, it's like fans are going to, and this is where I'll defend people who are anti-Sorsby. It's like this, people were not united on this. You and I thought it was the right direction to go. I would have been more upset had he declared and then they not gotten the bid, and then I would have been really pissed. I saw people were like, Johnny's going to go off on today. I'm like, I'm a little bit indifferent. But not everybody was on board with this. The problem now is just people, if you're Michael Bidwill, they're going to vote with their wallet and whether or not they choose to be engaged with your franchise this year. And it was already a really tough sell.
Yeah.
And the presence of Sorsby and Beck and Love, just go, like, I couldn't tell you, like last year, I was so fired up to go to training camp because I was like, Cardinals revamped their defense. There's Calais, there's Dalvin Tomlinson, there's Josh Sweat. And it's like, man, I feel great about this defense. Now it's a disaster, but like fans need that. No one wants to go to camp this year. Maybe I'm not speaking for you, to watch Jacoby Brissett run a first-team offense. Nobody wants to pay a premium to go to week 2 to watch Jacoby Brissett play Seattle. Remember the last time he played Seattle? It's like, hey, people want different and they want new. And fair or not, like Sorsby would have represented that to some people.
He absolutely would have. I mean, what's the biggest knock on this Arizona Cardinals team? Some people, especially when closer to it, they look at this roster and they say, like, hey, I think that there are some pieces here that you could work with, right?
Yeah.
I mean, almost on every level, both sides of the football, the offensive line, they were able to rework a little bit, still lacks a right tackle. The playmakers, a lot of people would say, is there. Defensively, a lot of development has to happen, but there's been investments on every level of the defense. Would it shock people to see them play more like they did weeks 1 through 5 than, the last 9 weeks of the season? I don't think it would. But then you look at that quarterback position and it's just like, you can really only kind of hitch your wagon to one horse, one that you can see, a future beyond 2026 with. Outside of that, like I was talking to our sales guy, Connor, today. He came up to me with this question. I don't even know if it was before the Sorsby news or not, but he's like, has there ever been a team like the Cardinals that kind of deprived the fan base of hope so early in the offseason? I don't think there has been. I've been covering this team for a long time. I mean, it's a little bit of a throwback. This quarterback room is a throwback for this team in the sense, like in the 90s, they had some really bad quarterback rooms. Like you were trying to think of like, oh, Jeff Blake from the Bengals after he's cast off. They're like, he's going to come in, he's going to start. Like there have been some really rough goes of it, but now with such an emphasis premium on that position, you shouldn't be caught without one. And the Cardinals were not only were they there, they were cutting Kyler Murray and they were pivoting to Jacoby Brissett and a backup quarterback along with him instead of looking at other avenues and options this offseason. They did it on the first day of the legal tampering period and basically shut down any real true hope for this fan base.
Well, it's funny you should say that. So let's go back. While you were walking us through that, I went back in my mind, and I think this probably, if you follow the team, when I age myself here, closely resembles 2012. So 2011,
okay,
lockout year, you trade for Kevin Cobb, you draft Pat P, big time hope that year.
Yeah.
The next year, you go into camp with John Skelton and Kevin Cobb in an open competition at quarterback. At least with Cobb, you'd seen some stuff the year before. He was a second round trade, Dominic Cromartie. That's the closest. This is the close, and I would say that had a little bit more cachet, which is sad. Maybe not, but certainly the division was not like what it is now. Like that 2012 division, like, the Rams were still bad. Then you think about next year, Carson Palmer, hope. 2014, 2015, 2016, hope. 2017, probably should have gotten a quarterback, but you still felt good about Arians. 2018, free agency started poorly. You signed Sam Bradford, bad Samford, and Terrell Suggs, but then you got Rosen, hope. Then you bottomed out, got Kyler Murray, rookie of the year. Next year, 2020, ascending. 2021, ascending. 2022, still picked to make the playoffs. Kyler Murray extension, tears his ACL, but then you finally got rid of Keim. And then 2023, it was like, okay, now we're going to build and it's going to be better than ever. And so people had patience.
Right.
And then 2024 hope, 2025 hope, and now we're in the shitter. I think it most closely resembles 2012. And I saw somebody in the chat say, like, it was a very respectable take. I'm going to see if I can find it. Here it is. Bo Peterson. Don't get me wrong. I'm not anti-Sorsby. He might work out. He might not. I just don't think that's a smart move for us statistically right now. Patience over panic. Typically, I would agree with you. But when you made the decision to retain a general manager, that's 21-36. He should not be the benefactor of any kind of patience ever. If this is a new GM and Mike LaFluer and there's a vision, right? And they're just like, guys, hang, just like in 2023, eat some slop with us. Clayton Tune, Josh Dobbs, Colt, we got to get to Kyler. Give us time. We all understood the assignment. We weren't calling for people to be fired after those post-game shows early that year. Monty carries the scarlet letter of the losing that this franchise has done since he arrived here. That's why there's no patience from this show, at least. The rest of these people in this market have infinite patience because, in my opinion, they do not cover the team like we do. When you live it every day, Bo, I don't want to hear about patience. With Monti Ossenfort, get out of here.
Yeah, you want to cover something different than you have. And we've seen 4 non-competitive seasons, I guess 3 out of 4 years. We've seen 3 out of 4 non-competitive seasons. Like they made it interesting in 2024. But, outside of that, 2022, 2023, 2025, disaster classes. And it wasn't fun. You can count on one hand how many wins they had. And it's like the famous line from True Detective, like the only good seasons, like time is a flat circle for this team is similar to 2026 as it was in 2012, as you outlined. And it just comes back around and this organization makes the same mistakes over and over again. And you can change the players, you can change the front office, you can change everybody involved, but it comes back to this team is right back where it started. And it's unfortunate because you want more for this fan base that has been so deprived of winning and seeing good football. It's like the opposite end of the spectrum is like Brady's gone, Belichick's gone, and the Patriots are back in the Super Bowl. It's like because their ownership put them in a position to find success, consistent success, and when they're down, it's not for long. It's like, how can you dig yourself out of this hole? It's like, well, you have to wear out your assets. You have to inspect every opportunity. And when you've got a quarterback room, especially that's devoid of talent, why wouldn't you kind of pick up every rock and every stone and not leave it go unturned? And if there's a guy that the league views as a first-round caliber prospect, you can get him at a discount, I'd say, yeah, go for it. What else do you have to lose?
Try something.
Yeah.
We're back around the corner with your super chats. Hit the like. It's PHNX. I'm going to tell you what I did earlier today. I was very sad about Brendan Sorsby, and I contemplated many, many day beers to get me through the day, the Sorsby day. I didn't. I said, I'm going to wait until after hours, be responsible. But the beer of choice was going to be Michelob Ultra because that was the only thing that was going to get me through this decision by Roger Goodell and company. And Michelob Ultra, listen, it's perfect for your palate like me and Bo over the Sorsby news, or you're celebrating Team USA, the U.S. men's national soccer team. By the way, do you know Michelob Ultra, the proud sponsor, partner, official beer of the FIFA World Cup? Let's go. So where the Cardinals are letting us down, the men's national soccer team, they are not. It's brewed right here in America, is Michelob Ultra, and it's the best beer to match the moment. Whether you're packed into a bar watching at a watch party or yelling at your TV at home for every match, every goal, every play on the world's biggest stage, crack open something superior. Michelob Ultra, proud sponsor of the U.S. men's national soccer team and the official beer sponsor of the FIFA World Cup 2026. Enjoy responsibly, friends, just like me. Copyright 2026 Anheuser-Busch, Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
We've shared many Michelob Ultras over at Gila River Resorts and Casinos at Wild Horse Pass, the Upper Deck Sports grill there. It's fantastic. I recommend, if you are a sports fiend, this is the place for you. The ultimate game day destination, especially during the World Cup. You're going to want to be there. Gila River Resorts and Casinos, whether you're catching the Cardinals action in the fall, placing a few bets, grabbing great food and drinks, make it a full day with friends, maybe poolside, or you're going to make it a staycation. Check out one of their very, 4 locations here in the Valley. And the BetMGM sportsbooks are built for sports fans, massive screens, wall-to-wall TVs, incredible atmosphere that puts you right in the middle of the action. Where else would you rather be? Nowhere else except for Gila River Resorts and Casinos. So if you're looking for the best place in Arizona, watch a game, celebrate the big wins, and enjoy unbeatable sports experience, head to Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Wild Horse Pass, Pass, of course, Santan Mountain. You got Vicuiva. It's unreal what's going on with Gila River Resorts and Casinos. All the ways you do you. Visit play@Gila.com for all the details.
Hit that like button. Be sure to tune in to our guys on the PHNX Suns Draft Show. Following our show, the Suns don't have a pick in the first round, but they do have a second round pick, and they're not going to use it on Brendan Sorsby. We don't think.
They might get back in the first round. There was somebody who said if Koa Pete's there, that the Suns could trade back in the first round for the hometown kid.
Yeah, they do some cool stuff with it. Suns. They appease their fan base. They do some cool stuff every year. They make trades. They're always in it. That's interesting. Here's something interesting. We got our super chat starting off with T. Clearly. He's been a member for 9 months. Good to see you, my friend. Sorsby being unavailable, probably good for MILF. Just coach, no potential distractions. Where I will push back to that ever so slightly, and yes, it comes with the territory. I mean, this year could get ugly if things get out of hand, and I don't want that because Gannon was like, I'll take on a bad team and we don't need a quarterback and it'll work out. And just like those first years when you've got a crooked number in your loss column, it's tough to overcome that, Bo.
Yeah, no, it is. And I think LaFluer understands that quarterback room is more than just one third rounder. You gotta have more guys to fill that out. You gotta have talent at that position. I think that he would probably take on more of that, even with the risks or the noise baggage surrounding a guy like Sorsby. But look, now they can refocus and try to surprise people as much as they possibly can in 2026, and then really make a significant investment in the position next offseason. Thank you, Terry. Bees. I did mention a few episodes ago that there weren't any guarantees the NFL would approve his application. Can't say I'm completely surprised.
Wow, Bees called it before anybody else. I mean, should we just start doing the thing where like we say the thing that we don't want to happen is likely to happen, so we're not disappointed? I think that's what I'm going to start doing. It's like, yeah, I don't think they're going to win any games. I just think they're going to be terrible this year. And maybe then they'll surprise. But good call on you, Bees. You outscoop the insiders.
Love Bees, man. Love Bees. How about this, Connor TLV? League ain't ready for the beckoning. Certainly not. We're gonna get a lot of, just prepare yourselves. It's gonna be Carson Beck TV 24/7 here on this channel. And it's gonna be live look at Carson Beck warming up. He's going to be in every preseason game. There's 4 of them for the Arizona Cardinals. It's going to be Beck. The beckoning is less than a month away.
Hopefully he puts up like Nintendo numbers in these preseason games. And it's just like Carson Beck for 500 yards in the preseason game. Mad Mike's been a member for 9 months. Good to see you, Mike. It's going to be okay, boys. We're going to use our 2027 we're going to use a second round pick in the 2027 NFL draft to draft Sorsby, calling it now. I think Sorsby's career is donezo. I think he's out of the league.
Hearing his name on draft day, the odds are not good. The odds are not good on that. Like this is a crushing blow to Sorsby and his NFL future.
Bad.
But if he's good, if he can somehow find his way to a roster, we'll see. But
undrafted, maybe.
It's a mess.
Baharo, good to see you. $2. Sorsby bet the under on Beck wins this year. Well, I saw somebody say, did you have the parlay of Sorsby plus 1,200 rejected by both college football and the NFL? That's pretty good.
Wow. Not bad. Love to see you, Baharo. Welcome back to the Super Chats with a banger. How about Brian? Brian P. Beck ends up being a Hall of Famer. Our 2027 second round pick ends up being a Hall of Fame pass rusher, and Sorsby is out of the league by 2030. Then we laugh and think of how close we were to taking Sorsby and missing out on that pass rusher in the second round.
We're going to chart both of those now. Obviously, we're going to chart Beck very closely, but we'll do revisionist history. Somebody set a date here, June 2023, 2028. We're going to come 2 years from now.
Is that a stroke? Listen to you say that. June
23rd,
2026. Yeah.
2 years from now. Let's see how those players are doing. I would love for you to be right. Brian, thank you. It's a very generous super chat. Speaking of generous, it's Jeff. just became a YouTube member. Let's go. It's a big Suns fan, I'm guessing,
Right.
Jeff. Good luck tonight with your team that is going to participate in the draft. Our draft has been
The NBA is 2-night thing now, right? So it's just one round tonight?
Is it? They don't do the second tonight?
I think they do the second tomorrow. It's a 2-night. They think they're the NFL all of a sudden.
Cute. That's cute that they do that.
But Jeff, appreciate it. Jeff Blazer, a new member of the PHNX sports community. Love to see it. Darth Vader, coaching matters. Shouldn't Mike LaFluer be able to make it work with Carson Beck?
I think so, but we always talk about like ceiling and like what would you be willing to accept? And I consistently said like I think he's game manager plus like some of these other guys, like a Cousins, and a Brock Purdy and a
prime Jimmy G. Like if he can be prime Jimmy G, he's going to work in this offense. But the difference between that and like Sorsby is like, think of the names that people were doing with Sorsby. They're Patrick Mahomes and stuff. Like that's the difference. Right. If he's poo-poo Jimmy G, then it doesn't help anybody. How about Daddy Rabbits? So it looks like the NFL insiders are really just FOS when speculating. What's the acronym for FOS? I don't know. Front office something, maybe? It's front office sports, but I don't think that's what that is. Yeah, that's true. They only have real information if it's leaked to them. No real insight. Look, I mean, we know that. Tom Pelissaro was talking to league higher-ups, and they said the expectation was he was going to be pushed through, but it didn't. It probably came down to Goodell and his inner circle, and they said, no, we're not going to – we're going to drop the hammer here, and they certainly did. I still trust Garofalo, Rapport, Schefter, and Pelissaro. Ranger, just a reminder of the GOAT. I want to emphasize he just doesn't want to watch Jacoby. Please watch us this year on the watch-alongs. We're going to get everybody through this year, and specifically that could be the slop of this year, the first couple months of the season. So don't you guys worry about that. We've got you covered. We're going to have plenty of draft content in the fall that I'm really excited to talk about. All the drafts for. Can't wait to see everybody at the 2027 quarterback meeting tomorrow. It's been a while. I took a couple weeks off while we covered this story, but I'll be back tomorrow, and I'll bring donuts and coffee we can start talking about Arch Manning and Dante Moore. Did you see Dante Moore beat Louisiana Tech over the weekend? I mean, those throws are really going to translate. You see the Rams D line? It's just Oregon Duck receivers just streaking over the field, uncovered. This will translate. Jenga Man 64, $2. NFL even mentioned reports he broke criminal law. Like they made an example of Brendan Sorsby today. They basically said, "You think you're going to come into our league, half-assing it, not taking this seriously? We're going to expose you." I mean, what? Like, why is James Pierce Jr. at minicamp? He was arrested. He's got criminal charges brought against him, horrific actions. People are like, that day that happened with James Pierce Jr., people are like, he's done, just practicing. So, like, that's why we were connecting the dots with Sorsby. Can't compromise where the money's coming in, though. That's true. Terry Cleary, Cards need talented players, and quarterback is definite, but the shield always comes first. I guess. No doubt about it. And they got gambling partners, and they go, you got to make sure you're sending the right message to them. No doubt about it. Luis, $4.99. Now we turn to Beck. If it goes south fast when season starts, we pivot to the draft and start trading away players like Sweat for draft capital. I would say that is highly likely. Sweat, Buddha, I mean, name veterans that we get to the end of October, and this team's got, I would say if this team has 2 or less wins, they're going to start dealing all the veterans off this team. Who's dealing them though? Who's the man that's? Well, that was my question to you. Who is making Dave Sears? Yeah, I mean, if that's our bleak future, and I agree. I mean, it's a very likely scenario. If they're down that tremendous by the trade deadline and they're offloading talent, I don't think if Monty's not already gone, he's not long for that position much longer. Texas AZ Cards, been a member for 4 months. Good to see you, my guy or gal. Beck time, let's go. He has the weapons. Go win some games. He's a winner. Could shock us all. Great show, guys. Listen every night here in Texas. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate that. Listen, I've been to training camps where I've talked myself into Clayton Tune, so I can
Carson Beck is much more accomplished, and both predicted he's going to look good.
Yeah,
but can't when the live bullets are flying in an NFL game in the NFC West, can he hang? We're going to find out.
And then there's a chance, we've seen a lot of experienced college quarterbacks find success in the NFL preseason. Then you start going up against the ones when the lights are brighter in the regular season, and it's different. Remember, everybody's look at DTR. This guy's unbelievable for the Browns.
He was great.
Out of the league. I think DTR is in the UFL already.
Is he?
Yeah.
I talked to DTR at the Combine that year, and I was like, you should go to the Cardinals. He's like, they talked to me. But yeah, you're right. He plays for the Birmingham Stallions now. That makes me sad. He was goated that one. I'm like, Bo, look, they've already made a huge mistake. Reese, $2. I think Sorsby's going to get the Shador treatment. Well, kind of already did.
And look, if he's going to go about this and continue up with this litigation, if somehow he becomes, I don't know, available, nobody's gonna touch him.
And for those asking why can't he be an undrafted free agent, he's ineligible to play in the NFL this year.
Yeah.
Not only for the draft supplemental. It's not like they had a supplemental draft and nobody picked him. If that was the case, he could have been he's not eligible to play in the NFL.
Yeah, but if somehow his legal team works a miracle and gets him to where he becomes available to teams,
you can't.
After, taking legal action against the league that any 32 teams are gonna come knock around, they can stomach, and they will do their due diligence and homework after this gambling thing. It seemed like they were ready to move forward, but this now, it's going to be kind of poison. It's poison. Yeah, it's very poisonous. It's radioactive. Bo Peterson chimed in a couple times and became an official PHNX Sports supporter and YouTube member. Welcome, Bo. I love the name. Different spelling, but we are brothers now.
Finally get an upgrade on some bows around here. All right. Dylan, $2. This is a take. Beck wins 8 games this year, boys. Bet the farm on it. If Carson Beck wins 8 games this year, Mike LaFluer should be coach of the year, and then Carson Beck's your starter next year, right?
No. Does that mean Jeremiyah Love is just superhuman?
He's Jeremiyah Love goes for 2,000 yards all purpose.
I love it. I love the enthusiasm, Dylan. DS with is that the Oregon Coast right there in the profile picture?
Yes.
Gorgeous. Yahoo said Sorsby was only supplemental draft applicant. Not sure if that was the factor in the NFL's decision. No doubt about it. The NFL, I think that this was they specifically canceled the draft instead of just not having him in it. He was the only applicant, but they said, well, you just don't have a supplemental draft, and there's not much of a legal leg he can stand on with the CBA and the NFLPA and all that stuff. It kind of creates some dead ends for him. So no doubt about it, DS.
Reese, $5. I'm really hyped for preseason football for the first time in a long time. I hope Beck gets us excited. I'm with you. Do you think so? Bo and I, we got the schedule today. We'll probably talk about it more tomorrow and practice schedule and all that. Do you think they're going to play starters at all in the preseason? Do you think he's going to sit any starters?
A lot of this, especially you talk about the schedule, is from the Rams blueprint. So you have to look at how McVay operates in the preseason. I obviously would look at how Matt LaFleur operates in the preseason. I mean, is there many starter reps that happen then? I mean, I still feel like just when you're using the Cardinals under Gannon, like most teams look like they play their starters way more than Gannon and his staff did.
And it could be less than that now. Hold on. Brian asking the same thing. $2. Thank you, Brian. Beck playing in the Hall of Fame game, or are we watching Slovis? Beck needs to play. The only way
when we talked to Beck last week, we brought up the Hall of Fame game. He's already locked in on it. Like I think he already knows he's going to have a lot of snaps in that game.
Yeah, if Beck's not playing, then the only way I'm giving a pass for him is if he's
he's going to play.
He's the starter. It's like, hey, he doesn't need to play. He's the starter.
He better be the starter. Like don't let the fan base have a little fun to open up the Hall.
No, they hate that. The Cardinals strip us of that on a daily basis. Dak Prescott wants won a job in the preseason. So did Russell Wilson. Could lightning strike again in the preseason, or are we going to watch some Slovis? Serve up some Slovis, baby. Hit that like button. Big thanks to everybody. There's Cards Talk Therapy today for those of us who were heartbroken by the league's decision, but we soldier on. No Brendan, so we promise we won't bring up Sorsby again.
Yeah.
And
it's over.
It's full steam ahead into training camp with Jacoby Brissett holding out. Now that is the new most embarrassing story.
Yeah. Appreciate everybody. Even if you just tuned in to watch us eat a big crap sandwich delivered by Roger Goodell in the NFL, we appreciate that. Make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Let's get this video up to 250 likes as we eulogize Brendan Sorsby in his Cardinals career that was ended before it began. The Sours dog. But look, we appreciate everybody who tuned in today. Big thanks to Allie and our production staff for getting us live and looking and sounding so good today. Continue thoughts, prayers for Noah as he continues to look for his next job.
It's like, where are you going with that?
Hey, on a serious note, can I say this? Like a very serious note.
Please do. We
poked fun a lot at Matt Miller. We're wishing him nothing the best.
100%.
We did. Yeah. We took a lot of fun of his draft analysis, but we saw what happened to Matt, and we're wishing him nothing but the best in his recovery, and just hoping he bounces back quickly here.
Horrific. He's a father. He's a husband. And hopefully you see him back on ESPN. But big thanks to Allie. Big thanks to Shane. Everybody hit that like button for Bo. I'm Johnny. We'll see you on a Wednesday. Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.